Suddenly, there was a loud bang and the whole ship lurched forward. Alex's heart raced as he realized what was happening. The ship's engines had failed. He was falling, plummeting toward Earth at a dangerous speed. Alarms blared all around him, but there was nothing he could do. He was crashing. He braced himself as the ship entered the atmosphere, the heat building up rapidly around him. The view outside the window turned bright red as flames licked the sides of the ship. Alex's fingers flew over the controls, trying to activate the emergency landing systems, but the ship wasn't responding. He was going down fast. The ground rushed up to meet him. With a final, desperate move, Alex managed to deploy the parachutes. The ship slowed slightly, but the impact was still brutal. The metal hull crumpled as it smashed into a dense forest, trees snapping like twigs under the force of the crash. Alex was thrown forward, his head slamming into the control panel. Darkness took over. When he came to, everything was quiet. The alarms had stopped, and the ship was still. Alex groaned in pain as he tried to move. His body ached all over, and blood trickled down his forehead. He was alive, but barely. Every muscle screamed in protest as he unbuckled his harness and crawled out of the pilot's seat. The cockpit was a mess of broken equipment and tangled wires. With great effort, Alex managed to push open the hatch and pull himself out of the wreckage. The fresh air hit his face, and he took a deep breath. He was in the middle of a thick forest, the trees towering above him. The sky was darkening, and a cold wind blew through the trees, making the leaves rustle ominously. His mind raced. He had to find help, but his communication systems were destroyed. There was no way to call for rescue. He was stranded, alone, and injured. As Alex staggered forward trying to clear his head, a shadow moved in the trees ahead. His heart skipped a beat. Someone was there. "Hello?" he called out weakly, his voice barely a whisper. No answer came, but the figure stepped closer. At first, Alex thought it might be a rescue team, but as the figure came into view, his eyes widened in shock. It wasn't a human. It was something else. The figure was tall, with skin that shimmered a strange shade of blue in the fading light. Its eyes were large and glowing faintly. It had a graceful, almost otherworldly presence, moving silently through the forest as if it belonged there. Alex's mind raced. This was an alien, on Earth. Alex's legs gave out and he collapsed to the ground, too weak to run or fight. Fear and confusion filled his mind. Was this creature here to finish him off? His vision blurred and he struggled to stay conscious. The alien stood over him, looking down with an expression Alex couldn't read. Before he could think or react, the alien knelt down beside him and gently touched his arm. A soft glow spread from the alien's hand, and Alex felt a warmth rushing through his body. The pain began to fade, his wounds closing up as if by magic. The last thing Alex saw before blacking out again was the alien's glowing eyes staring down at him with what seemed like kindness. When Captain Alex Ryder woke up, the first thing he noticed was the absence of pain. His body no longer ached and his head felt clear. Slowly, he opened his eyes, blinking against the soft light filtering through the trees. He was still in the forest, lying on the ground, but something had changed. The alien was there, sitting a few feet away, watching him quietly. Alex's heart raced as he remembered the crash, the pain, and then this creature. He had never seen anything like it before. Its skin was smooth and blue, shimmering slightly in the light. Its eyes, large and glowing, seemed to look deep into his soul. But what surprised him most was how calm the alien seemed. There was no threat in its posture. It looked almost curious. Slowly, Alex pushed himself into a sitting position, wincing slightly as his muscles protested. His wounds were gone, but his body still felt weak. The alien tilted its head as if studying him, but didn't move. Alex cleared his throat, unsure of what to say or do. Thank you, he managed to croak out, his voice hoarse from the crash. The alien didn't respond with words, but a soft voice echoed in Alex's mind, startling him. You are safe. Rest. The voice wasn't harsh or cold. It was gentle, calming. It was like nothing Alex had ever experienced before. Telepathy? Was this alien communicating directly into his thoughts? Alex stared at the creature, trying to make sense of everything. He had just crash-landed on Earth, nearly died, and now an alien was talking to him in his head. He felt overwhelmed, but there was no mistaking the fact that the alien had saved his life. Who are you? Alex asked, his voice shaky but curious. The alien's glowing eyes blinked slowly, and again, Alex heard the voice in his mind. I am Zara. I have been here a long time. Here? On Earth? Alex asked, shocked. Zara nodded slightly, her expression unreadable. Yes, I have lived here hidden from your kind. It is dangerous for me to be seen. Alex's mind raced. An alien had been living on Earth, hiding from humans? How was that possible? He had so many questions, but one thing was clear. Zara wasn't here to hurt him. She had healed him, saved him from certain death. Slowly, his fear started to fade, replaced by curiosity. Why did you help me? Alex asked, frowning slightly. You didn't have to. For the first time, Zara's expression changed, softening slightly. Because you were hurt. I do not wish for harm to come to anyone, human or otherwise. Alex was taken aback. He had expected an alien to be cold, distant, maybe even dangerous, but Zara seemed compassionate. The idea of an alien caring about a human's well-being was something he hadn't expected. Zara stood up gracefully, moving closer to Alex. She reached out her hand, and for a moment Alex tensed, but then he relaxed as he felt the same warmth from earlier. You need to recover, she said through his mind. It will take time. Alex nodded slowly, accepting the help. I don't understand all of this, he admitted, his mind spinning with everything that had happened. But, thank you. I owe you my life. Zara didn't respond with words this time, only a nod. She turned her gaze to the forest, as if checking their surroundings. You are not safe here, she said after a moment. Others will come looking for you. We must move. Alex's eyes widened. Others? You mean humans? Zara nodded. Humans, yes. And others like me. Not all are kind. With that, Zara helped Alex to his feet. Though his body was still weak, he felt stronger with every step. Together, they began to move through the forest, away from the wreckage, and into the unknown. As Alex and Zara moved deeper into the forest, the air grew cooler, and the trees became denser. Alex felt his strength slowly returning, but his mind was still racing with questions. Who was Zara really? Why had she been living on Earth? And what did she mean by others like me? They walked in silence for a while, the only sound being the crunch of leaves under their feet. Finally, Alex couldn't hold back his curiosity any longer. Zara, he said, breaking the silence, you said you've been here a long time. How long exactly? Zara didn't answer right away. She looked ahead as if choosing her words carefully. Longer than you can imagine, she said softly, her voice once again echoing in his mind. Alex frowned, not satisfied with the vague answer. What does that mean? How long have you been hiding on Earth? After a moment, Zara sighed, her glowing eyes dimming slightly. Thousands of your years. My people came to Earth long before your civilization began. We were explorers seeking new worlds. Alex stopped walking, staring at her in shock. Thousands of years? You've been here for that long? It was hard to believe. Humans had barely begun exploring space, and yet here was an alien who had been on Earth for centuries, maybe even longer. Zara nodded slowly, her expression somber. Yes, my people found Earth in its early days. It was a beautiful, untouched planet. We meant no harm, but something went wrong. What happened? Alex asked, now more curious than ever. A great disaster, Zara explained. Our ship was damaged beyond repair and I was left behind. The others? They tried to leave, but they never made it. I am the last of my kind on this planet. Alex felt a wave of sympathy wash over him. Zara had been stranded on Earth for thousands of years, alone, watching humanity grow and change while she remained hidden. The thought of it made his chest tighten. That must have been lonely, he said softly. Zara looked at him, her eyes sad but calm. It was. I have watched your people grow, fight, and evolve. I have seen your wars, your triumphs, your struggles. But I could never reveal myself. Humans were not ready. Alex nodded slowly, trying to process everything. He had so many questions, but one thing bothered him the most. If you've been here all this time, why haven't you left? Surely there must have been a way to contact your people or find another way off this planet. Zara shook her head. The technology of my people is far beyond yours, but even we had limits. The ship's destruction left me with no way to communicate across the stars. Over time, I accepted that Earth had become my home, even if I could never be part of it. Alex felt a pang of guilt. While he had been living his life, fighting battles, and exploring the galaxy, Zara had been trapped here, a silent observer of humanity's rise. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "You've been through so much." Zara smiled faintly. "Do not pity me, Captain. I have learned much from your people. I have seen the beauty and the flaws of humanity. You are stronger than you realize." Before Alex could respond, Zara suddenly stopped, her eyes narrowing as she looked around. "We are not alone," she whispered into his mind. Alex's heart began to race. "What do you mean?" "I can feel them." "Others, like me. They are coming. And they are not here to help." Zara's voice was tense now, the calm tone replaced by urgency. "Aliens?" Alex asked, feeling the adrenaline surge through him. "Yes, they have been searching for me. And now they've found us." Without another word, Zara grabbed Alex's arm and pulled him forward. The secrets of her past had only just begun to unravel, and now they were in more danger than ever. Zara and Alex moved quickly through the dense forest, the tension between them growing as they sensed the danger closing in. Alex's heart pounded in his chest, but he stayed close to Zara, trusting her instincts. She seemed to know exactly where to go, her movements swift and purposeful. But Alex couldn't shake the feeling that they were being followed. Suddenly, Zara stopped. She raised her hand, signaling Alex to be still. "They are close," she said in his mind, her voice low and urgent. Alex scanned the trees around them, but saw nothing. "Who are they?" he whispered, his voice shaky. "They are not my people," Zara replied, her eyes glowing brighter now. "But they come from the same place. Hunters! They have been looking for me for a long time." Alex's mind raced. He had survived countless battles as a soldier, but this was something different. These were aliens with advanced technology, creatures he knew nothing about, and yet he couldn't just run. He had to fight, not only for himself, but for Zara, who had saved his life. Before Alex could ask anything else, the forest around them erupted with movement. Shadows darted between the trees, fast and silent. In a split second, a figure leapt out from the bushes, aiming straight for Zara. Without thinking, Alex acted on instinct. He threw himself in front of Zara, tackling the figure to the ground. The alien was stronger than he expected, its skin a dark metallic hue, its eyes glowing a fierce red. It snarled, trying to break free from Alex's grip, but Alex held on, refusing to let go. Zara moved quickly, her hands glowing with a strange energy. With a swift motion, she extended her arm, and a bright flash of light shot from her palm, hitting the alien in the chest. The creature let out a shriek before crumbling to the ground, motionless. Breathing heavily, Alex stood up, his body trembling from the adrenaline. "What? What was that?" he gasped. "A hunter," Zara said, her voice calm but serious. "There are more. We must stay alert." No sooner had she spoken than two more aliens burst through the trees, moving toward them with alarming speed. Alex grabbed a thick branch from the ground, his makeshift weapon feeling woefully inadequate against their attackers. But he had no other choice. One of the aliens lunged at him, and Alex swung the branch with all his strength. It connected with the alien's side, but the creature barely flinched. Its strength was incredible, far beyond anything Alex had faced before. He was knocked backward, the force of the blow sending him to the ground. Before the alien could strike again, Zara stepped in, her hands glowing brighter than before. She unleashed another wave of energy, hitting both creatures at once. They howled in pain, staggering back, but they didn't stop. Their red eyes burned with rage as they closed in again. "We can't keep doing this!" Alex shouted, his voice strained as he got back to his feet. "We don't have a choice," Zara replied, her voice firm. "They won't stop until we're both dead." Alex gritted his teeth, gripping the branch tighter. He knew Zara was right. This was a fight for survival. Together, they charged the aliens, Alex using brute force, while Zara wielded her mysterious energy. The battle raged on, fierce and unrelenting. Every time they knocked one alien down, another would take its place. The hunters were relentless, their strength terrifying. But Alex and Zara fought with everything they had, side by side. After what felt like an eternity, the last alien fell to the ground, its body sizzling from Zara's energy blast. Alex stood over it, breathing heavily, his body bruised and battered. But they had done it. They had survived. Zara turned to Alex, her glowing eyes dimming as she caught her breath. "We must keep moving," she said quietly. "More will come." Alex nodded, his heart still racing. They had won this fight, but the war was far from over. Alex and Zara continued to run through the forest, their hearts pounding from the battle they had just fought. The trees closed in around them, but they pressed on, knowing the danger was far from over. They had defeated the hunters for now, but Zara's warning echoed in Alex's mind more would come. As they navigated through the thick underbrush, Alex couldn't shake the feeling of dread. "How do we stop them?" he asked, glancing at Zara, who seemed lost in thought. "If they can track you, they'll keep hunting us." Zara's expression was serious. "They seek my energy, my connection to the stars. If they find me, they will not stop until they capture or destroy me." Alex felt a surge of determination. "We have to find a way to fight back, to make them understand that we won't be easy targets." "There is a place," Zara said suddenly, her voice sharper. "A hidden chamber deep in the mountains. My people used it as a refuge. If we reach it, I may be able to harness enough energy to defend ourselves." "Then let's go," Alex replied, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. They had to reach the chamber. It was their only hope. The two of them pushed through the forest, moving quickly but quietly. As they traveled, Zara shared more about her people and their technology. Alex listened intently, his mind racing with ideas. He couldn't wait to learn more and help Zara. After what felt like hours, they finally reached the base of a mountain, the path leading steeply upward. Zara pointed to a narrow opening hidden among the rocks. "This is it," she said. "We need to hurry." They squeezed through the opening and entered a dark cave. As they moved deeper inside, the air became cooler and charged with energy. Zara's eyes began to glow again, illuminating their path. "This place is ancient," Zara whispered. "It holds the power of my ancestors." Alex felt a chill run down his spine. "What do we need to do?" Zara paused in a large chamber filled with strange symbols etched into the walls. "I need to focus my energy and connect to the source here. It will take time." Alex nodded, looking around the cave for any signs of danger. The walls seemed to pulse with energy, and he felt an overwhelming sense of history in the air. But they had to move quickly. He could sense the hunters were still out there. Suddenly, a low rumble echoed through the cave. Alex's heart raced. "They're coming!" he shouted, his voice filled with urgency. "I need just a few more moments," Zara replied, her eyes focused on the symbols. "Keep them away from me." Without hesitation, Alex took a defensive stance at the entrance of the chamber. He could hear the hunters approaching, their growls echoing in the darkness. He picked up a large rock, ready to fight. As the first alien emerged from the shadows, Alex threw the rock with all his might. It hit the creature square in the face, making it stagger back. But more followed, their red eyes glowing menacingly. Alex fought with everything he had, using rocks and branches to fend off the attackers. Each time he pushed one back, another took its place. The odds were against him, but he couldn't let them reach Zara. Inside the chamber, Zara continued to focus her energy, her hands glowing brighter. "Almost there!" she shouted, her voice full of determination. Just then, an alien lunged at Alex, knocking him to the ground. He scrambled to get back up, but the creature pinned him down, its sharp claws poised to strike. Desperation surged through him as he struggled. In that moment, Zara unleashed a wave of energy that lit up the cave like a supernova. The light engulfed the alien, causing it to shriek and release Alex. He rolled away just in time, watching as the alien disintegrated into a cloud of ash. "Now, Alex," Zara called, her voice filled with power. "Help me finish this!" With renewed strength, Alex charged into the fray, fighting alongside Zara. Together, they unleashed a torrent of energy against the remaining hunters, who faltered under the combined force. The cave erupted with bright light and sound as the last of the hunters fell. Alex and Zara stood together, breathing heavily, victorious at last. As the dust settled, Zara turned to Alex, her expression one of gratitude and pride. "You fought bravely, Captain. Together we are strong." Alex smiled, knowing they had forged a bond through fire and struggle. They had not only survived, they had become allies. Together they would face whatever the universe had in store for them.